In this podcast episode, Mel Robbins interviews Dr. Rahul Jandial, a world-renowned cancer surgeon and neuroscientist who treats stage 4 cancer patients daily. They discuss profound life lessons learned from patients confronting terminal illness, practical mindset frameworks for managing crisis and growth, the power of directing psychological energy, and how resilience and personal transformation truly develop in both the brain and life. Dr. Jandial shares personal stories from his own life journey, from adversity in childhood immigration to the challenges of medical training, and offers compelling guidance on how to navigate difficult moments while embracing an extraordinary life. Dr. Jandial's story begins with relocation from Kashmir to Los Angeles at the age of 9, describing it as a form of rebirth. This dramatic shift brought both opportunity and intense challenge. He reflects on being underestimated, experiencing pain and violence, and how suffering stems from regret, while peace comes from finding meaning. The formative periods of his life, the 1980s LA environment, his mother's breast cancer diagnosis, and a nearby threat from a dangerous neighbor, forced him to make hard choices, including ultimately amputating school to focus on family and safety. This decisive act, misunderstood by others, was empowering because it marked a moment where he felt in charge of his life rather than being driven by external expectations. Over 25 years, Dr. Jandial developed a personal playbook for managing crises and embracing change. Central to this is discerning where one is in the cycle of life. Is it a storm, a crisis needing urgent management, or a springtime with bandwidth for growth and new practices? Different mindsets and actions suit these phases. During crisis, survival-oriented maneuvers like focused breathing and amputation of non-essential stressors are essential. In times of relative stability, one can cultivate habits such as meditation and reflection to prepare for future challenges. Recognizing the timing and applying the right rules prevents overwhelming oneself with unhelpful advice. The metaphor of amputation captures the necessity of cutting out parts of one's life that are draining vital resources during crises, whether relationships, commitments, or habits. This decision often triggers judgment from others, but requires deep self-awareness and courage to prioritize what truly matters. Dr. Jandial highlights that such strategic sacrifice is critical for focusing energy on pressing issues, whether protecting family, managing illness, or preserving mental health. Learning to own such decisions can be a pivotal act of personal agency. After stepping away from university, Dr. Jandial enrolled at Compton Community College, where he met a mentor who inspired him with wisdom and belief. This encounter ignited a transformation, built not on instant success, but steady incremental improvements and replacing harmful habits with positive ones, a -1+1 approach. Small daily adjustments lay the groundwork for larger life changes. This attitude of persistent, moderate effort is a critical framework that he encourages others to adopt. Having operated on thousands of patients with terminal cancer, Dr. Jandial shares their most profound lessons. When approaching the end of life, patients place emphasis not on rescuing cure, but on meaningful time with family, taking risks, and embracing life boldly. Those coping best adopt a mindset of "I'm glad I did," appreciating their active choices rather than "I wish I had," which signals regret and stuckness. This reorientation toward agency in one's life story, despite extreme hardship, embodies resilience and purpose. A core theme is directing one's psychological energy intentionally. In crisis or calm, where we focus our attention shapes reality. Dr. Jandial stresses that attentional power, our ability to regulate focus and resist reactive spirals, is a skill that can be cultivated. He teaches a simple yet powerful breathing technique to train this skill. Slow inhales, pauses, and exhales through the nose, practiced regularly throughout the day. This physiological regulation modulates brain chemistry, reducing hyperarousal and panic, thereby anchoring the mind to presence and control. Developing this focused breathing practice primes us for life's inevitable stresses. Dr. Jandial advises those in crisis to avoid making irreversible decisions impulsively and to seek support when possible. He acknowledges that crisis management is about survival, not self-improvement, and that tactics like paced breathing, amputation, and maintaining emotional clarity are critical tools. Building awareness of where one stands in terms of threat level and internal resources allows for appropriate responses instead of mismatched efforts that lead to fatigue or poor outcomes. This pragmatic approach helps reduce feelings of isolation and overwhelm. Resilience for Dr. Jandial transcends simple bounce-back notions. It means returning stronger, having grown and fortified oneself through challenge. This growth stems both from what you bring into battles with life, systemic resilience, and what is cultivated by surviving them, processive resilience. Drawing from brain surgery cases and trauma recovery, he illustrates that change requires repeated, moderate effort that induces biological adaptations like myelination in neurons, literally rewiring the brain for efficiency in new habits. Progress often happens invisibly beneath conscious awareness, requiring patience and discipline. This scientific perspective aligns with timeless wisdom about gradual transformation. Dr. Jandial's work reveals harsh realities. Surgery involves balancing risks and benefits with no zero-risk option. Complications will happen, though outcomes have improved over time. This underscores a broader life truth. There will be turbulence on any meaningful journey. His reflections on surgery led him to appreciate the delicate art in striving for maximal benefit while minimizing harm, a metaphor for decision-making and risk-taking in life. Embracing imperfection and uncertainty without losing hope is essential. Despite professional success, Dr. Jandial credits daily practices for mental resilience. His most important ritual is rehearsing attentional focus through paced breathing multiple times a day, which sharpens his mind and prepares him for unpredictability. He encourages weaving these small moments of mindful breath work into everyday situations, waiting in line, sitting in a car, or before an important conversation, so the skill strengthens and is accessible in crisis. Cultivating such habits nurtures emotional balance alongside physical and professional demands. One striking insight from Dr. Jandial's neurosurgical work is the brain's ability to repurpose itself despite massive injury, such as after hemispherectomy surgeries in children. The brain does not regrow lost parts, but reallocates functions, showing nature's remarkable plasticity through biochemical and structural changes. This biological resilience is a profound metaphor and model for human adaptability. Change requires consistency and commitment, but profound transformation is within reach when effort is sustained incrementally. Years of patient care have made Dr. Jandial less judgmental and more compassionate. He stresses that outward appearances rarely reveal internal struggles, and that everyone, regardless of background or status, faces challenges often unseen. Recognizing shared vulnerability deepens connection and kindness. Cancer patients, often hidden behind wigs and masks, demonstrate remarkable strength and humor, teaching lessons about dignity in suffering and the power of inner narrative. Dr. Jandial concludes with a reminder that life is inherently beautiful because it is difficult and uncertain. There is no final destination or moment of arrival, only cycles of growth and challenge to navigate. Relishing good times and embracing strategies for survival during hardship are both essential life skills. The invitation is to actively write one's life story with intentional psychological energy, to embrace boldness within reason, and to recognize the strength emerging from every trial.